At 7:58 a.m., the tenant in 3A filed her 5th complaint of the week. The door lock still didn't lock. The hot water still isn't hot. The rats still held their nightly conventions in the walls. And a smell, described only as hauntingly specific, was spreading from the laundry room. But this time, it wasn't an unhinged tenant creating the chaos. It was the building itself, falling apart like it had a personal vendetta against peaceful enjoyment. This is case number 0008, Deferred Maintenance, the building's revenge. You're listening to Filed and Deranged, Property Management's Classified Circus. Real incidents, one catastrophe at a time. We've seen the files, we've read the reports. We tried to believe they were exaggerated. We were so wrong. Today's file, a building so broken, so chronically mismanaged, so spiritually exhausted that the residents, for once, are the sane ones. Act 1. The first signs of surrender. It starts with the locks. Unit 2D reports, "My locks don't work, and I can open the front door just by politely suggesting it." Unit 3B writes, "I closed my door last night. It opened itself at 2 a.m. Maintenance logs the issues as, "Will schedule with locksmith." A phrase in this building that statistically means, "not in this lifetime." Then comes the hot water outage. Not a brief one, not a polite one, but a biblical one. Residents boil water in pots like they're reenacting the Oregon Trail. Unit 1D logs the complaint, "My water is colder than my ex." Act 2. The infestation that joined the HOA. Then the animals arrive, not as invaders, but as new residents. Rats in the ceiling, roaches in the dishwasher. A squirrel in the attic who refuses to leave and has probably settled in with acorns for the winter. When pest control is finally called, they report back. The pests appear extremely comfortable. You never want comfortable in a pest report. You want unwelcome, confused, demoralized, not established members of the community. Act 3. The security concern management refuses to acknowledge. With the locks barely pretending to work, the break-ins begin. Unit 4A reports, "Someone entered and rearranged my bookshelf by mood." Unit 1C reports, "Someone used my shower but didn't touch the soap. They just stood under the water like they were buffering." Management labels both non-urgent. Nothing about a silent, unwashed stranger in my apartment is non-urgent. More resident complaints. Unit 5D, "Someone moved my couch into the kitchen." Management noted, "Resident likely redecorating. Possible forgetfulness." By week's end, every break-in has the same pattern. Resident complaints, and management keeps repeating the same line. No evidence of unlawful entry, which is bold considering every resident's door is wide open like the building is inviting people in for snacks. Act 4. The Dead Animal Saga. And then the odors appear. A smell described as sour bravery, heated pennies, and like something died wearing cologne. Behind the laundry room wall, a dead raccoon. Behind the boiler panel, another. Under the stairs, unclear. No one has opened it. No one will. Maintenance closes all 3 work orders with "resolved." Nothing was resolved. Something was discovered, something was avoided, nothing was ever resolved. Act 5. The files that tell the truth. We dig into the documents, not the glossy leasing brochures, the real one. The ones nobody wants the tenants to actually read. 114 open complaints, 32 emergency calls, multiple ignored pest control orders, hot water failures logged every month, break-ins labeled non-emergency, dead animals treated like seasonal decor. And then it gets worse. Inspectional services violations, 45 of them, ranging from unsafe egress to critical plumbing failure. And my personal favorite, structural concern, source unknown. Makes one wonder, what happens when the structure itself is a mystery? Then we find the resident legal filings, a class action draft letter, 6 individual complaints citing habitability failures, and one beautifully passive-aggressive claim reading, "I am not asking for luxury. I am just asking for walls that do not host wildlife." By the time we reach the final folder, thick, overstuffed, and held together by a single trembling paperclip, the pattern is clear. This isn't simply neglect. This isn't just mismanagement, or even apathy. This is abandonment with a lease attached and monthly rent collection. The building is begging for retirement, and the management company is pretending it's a building with character. Lesson of the lease. If your building fails at locking, heating, removing pests, preventing crime, managing odors, and keeping creatures from dying inside its walls, you don't live in a unit. You live in a system collapse multiverse with decorative siding. And if the one thing in the entire property that never breaks is the rent collection portal, move. Move now, move immediately. Next time on Filed and Deranged. Maintenance investigates a bathroom leak. They expected a broken pipe. They did not expect scales, teeth, dead eyes, and a tail long enough to require its own lease. Because when the universe runs out of rodents, it sends reptiles. Case number 0009, the alligator in the bathtub.